Hey guys, it's Ludix. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be doing a Valentine's Day makeup as Valentine's Day is around the corner. As always, I'm gonna start with primer. So my favorite primer is the TATCHA Silk Canvas. So I always like to warm it up in my hands because the texture is so thick that it's better if you warm it up in your hands before to have a smoother finish. Then for foundation, always the same, the Anastasia Beverly Hills with my brush Morphe X Jeffree Star. So for this Valentine's Day look, I want to do a look that's wearable, that I could use to go out on a date for Valentine's Day or a nice candlelit dinner or anything. So now that the foundation is down, I'm going to go ahead and use liquid blush. So I'm going to use the Rare Beauty in the shade Bliss, which I think is one of the lightest shades. So they are very pigmented, so just 2 dots will already be a lot. And so we blend that. I'm using a Morphe brush, which is the E48. I think I want just a little bit more blush, a teeny tiny bit. I'd rather go twice, like do a first layer, blend it, and then go again, rather than making 3 spots with the same blush and then that it's too much and it's unblendable. And so I really go to my eyelid and I stay really up with my blush close to the temples and really the high of my cheek, because I want my face to be lifted. Now I'm gonna go in with my concealer, so the LA Girl Pro Conceal as always. And I really tap / drag my brush just a little bit into the blush, and then go in with the blush brush again to blend that concealer nicely in with the blush. See? And as always, I really go up in the inner corner to hide those dark circles. Now I'm gonna go in with powder for my whole face. And then in order for the makeup to stay on all night long, once I'm done with my base, I'm gonna go ahead and use some setting spray, so the Morphe Jumbo Continuous Setting Mist, to really lock that face in, for it to really blend in with my skin and make one with my skin, and so that it's gonna last throughout the night than if I just do one spritz at the end of the whole makeup. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. So as always, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade Soft Brown. So I just brush my brows to remove the powder from before. And then using the brow gel Gimme Brow from Benefit. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use a eyeshadow primer. So the one I use is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, because if you want your shadows to last throughout time, so all night long in this case, it's better to use a primer, so that first of all the shadows can pop on your eyelid, and second of all that it stays on longer than if you just use concealer or anything. But if you use concealer, it works as well, just don't powder it before you put the shadows, like put the shadows on a wet base. For this look, I'm going to be using 2 palettes. So the first one is the GLAMLITE Twilight. It's the Edward one, because it has lots of pinks and reds and very pretty glitters. And the second one is the Jawbreaker from Jeffree Star, because although it's unorganized, it has lots of reds and darker color to intensify the look. Like the matte shadows are really good. I want to do a smoky eye, so first I'm going to go in with the GLAMLITE palette in the shade Vulture right here to draw the shape that I want. So I always put my shadows with my eye open, because since I have very small lids, if I do them with my eye closed, I want to put the shadow here, and then when I open my eye, I can't see it anymore. So I like to apply my shadows with my eye open so that I can see where the shadows will go once I look someone in the eyes, for instance. I'm already going into my lower lash line so that when I apply my liner, I know the direction I want it to go. I'm just going to dry clean the brush with a sponge that I have from MORPHE brushes, just so that I have less pigment on the brush, so I can just blend the edges. Now I want to go into Mind Reader, which is a darker purple shade, all the way on the lid. So I'm going to be using a flat brush to apply that nicely onto my lid. And then on the lower lash line as well, just a little bit. And then taking that same fluffy brush again to really just blend the dark purple into the lighter purple. Now I'm going to go into the JEFFREE Star palette, and I'm going to be using the Bubblegum Pink to try to make this makeup a bit more pink. So I'm really taking it up to the bridge of my nose and on the lower lash line, outer corner, to really blend that in with my face. Now, before I apply the shimmers, I want to use a black kohl, so as always it's the MAC Tecnakhol liner in graphblack. So I'm going to put that inside my eye on my upper lash line, lower lash line, a little bit on the lid, here and here, and blend that in with the darker color I applied. So I'm not going to put it in my whole waterline, just on the outside where I put the dark shadow to intensify that. But if I drag it in the whole waterline, then my eyes, which are already small, will be shrunk. Now I'm going to use a flat fluffy brush, and I'm going to go in with the shade Century, which is a very pretty duochrome that goes from green to pink. And apply that mostly in the inner corner of my eyes, and then go towards the outer part of my eye. I use a fluffy brush because I don't want the pigment to be packed. I just want it lightly to blend out with the smoky. But I forgot these were so pigmented. So that's why I'm packing it in the inner corner. And then with the rest that's on the brush, I'm just going to slightly drag it to the rest of the look. But this is so pretty because it's the shade is transparent. It's just the glitters that are very reflective. So you can see my makeup underneath, but when I hit the light, you see the shadow. I'm gonna apply my mascara, which is the Maybelline Sky High. Avoided a disaster. Now I'm gonna apply my bronzer and my blush. So for bronzer, it's always the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil. And then I apply it high on my cheeks to really lift my face. This smells so good. I could eat it, but it's not good. On my temples. This is just how I bronze my face according to my face shape and how I like it. But you can do it differently. It's just I like to do it this way. But I really like my face to be lifted, so I apply all my face products very high on my cheeks. And then a little on the nose, a little on the chin here. And for blush, I'm gonna use the Tarte in the shade Big Ego, which is a very light pink, because I want this to illuminate my skin. And then again, I put it very high, really close to the eyeshadow. I want this to go over the blush the liquid blush that I applied. Just give it a bit more push. So I also go on the temples, and then I go on the chin, on the tip of my nose, and I also like to apply it above my brows. And for highlighter, I'm going to be using the GLAMLITE from the Twilight collection. It's the I Do, because what better than a marriage proposal yes for a Valentine's Day video? It says I do. All jokes aside, I really like it because, like the eyeshadow, it's just the reflections that you see. See, I just slightly swiped my brush in it. See how reflective it is? But when I turn my head, you don't see like a big brown bar as I would with like a champagne colored highlighter. Like, it's just the reflects. And I think that's amazing because you can't see it, and then when I hit the light, boom. It's so pretty. And so I drag it, as always, all the way from my eyebrow to my lip. Okay, now I think I want little hearts, like little black hearts. I'm going to be using my black liner, and I just want to do little hearts. So for the little hearts, first you do two, like a little V, like this, and then I'm just gonna fill it up to make a heart. And then here I think I want to do two. That is so cute! I think this looks super cute. And then for lips, we should do something that's a bit pink. So I'm going to be using this lipstick that used to be my mom's. It's an Estee Lauder in the shade Rebellious Rose. I don't know, it's the shade 420. It looks like this. I didn't want to do a red lip because it wouldn't go with this look, but this is like a pinkish red. So I want to do kind of an ombre lip. So I go in the center, and then I'm just going to smooch. And then for gloss, as always, I always use this one, but it's so pretty. It's the Lord of the Rings GLAMLITE Eye of Sauron gloss. It's very pretty. It looks orange, but it's just the reflections in it. But it's so pretty. And it's gonna go very well. Second mist of setting spray, and we'll be done. Guys, this is what I would wear to a night out on Valentine's Day. I think it's really wearable. It's colorful, it's makeup, but I think you figured that I like colorful makeups, and I think this is wearable with all the shimmers and everything. It's so pretty. I hope you enjoyed this video and you'll try to recreate this look. In the meantime, have a good one. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.